Fear does not always arrive in a loud or obvious way. Sometimes it comes quietly. It hides inside your thoughts, your choices, and the hesitation you feel before taking a step you already know you should take. Many times, you may not even call it fear, but you can still feel its presence. The endless overthinking, the uncertainty, the questions that keep repeating in the back of your mind. What if this fails? What if something goes wrong? What if things do not work out the way I hoped? And little by little, something begins to change inside you. Your confidence becomes weaker. Your peace starts fading. Your clarity becomes clouded, and your faith begins to feel distant. Not completely gone, but not as strong as it once was. Even though you believe in God, even though you pray, even though you read Scripture and try to stay close to Him, there are still moments where your heart feels unsteady. And this is exactly where one powerful verse in the Bible speaks directly into that struggle. Isaiah 41:10 says, "Do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be discouraged, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand." Maybe you have heard this verse many times before. Maybe you have seen it shared online or quoted in church. But the deeper question is this: have you truly leaned on it when fear came into your life? Not just reading it quickly, not just admiring it, but actually standing on it when your heart felt uncertain. Because this verse was not only written to comfort you for a moment, it was written to carry you through seasons that feel heavy and unstable. So stay with me for a few minutes, because we are going to walk through this verse slowly and personally, so it becomes more than words on a page. It becomes something you can hold on to when life feels difficult and unclear. God begins with something direct and simple. Do not fear. Now, this does not mean fear will never appear in your life. Fear is part of being human. It comes when life feels uncertain, when the future is unclear, when situations move in a direction you did not expect. Fear can come from many places. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of loss, fear of disappointing others, fear of the unknown. And many times it does not arrive loudly. Sometimes it comes quietly through thoughts you cannot stop thinking about, worries that remain in your mind, or hesitation that keeps you from moving forward. God is not pretending these struggles do not exist. He is speaking directly into them. When He says, "Do not fear," He is not denying your reality. He is redirecting your focus. Fear has a way of shrinking your vision. It makes problems appear larger than they really are, and it makes you feel smaller and weaker than you truly are. Fear convinces you that you are alone, unprepared, and exposed. But God interrupts that thinking. Do not fear is not only a command, it is also an invitation. An invitation to take your eyes off the situation for a moment and place them back on Him. Because fear grows stronger when your attention stays fixed on the problem. But fear begins losing its power when your attention returns to God. And this is important to understand clearly. God is not asking you to pretend you never feel afraid. He is asking you not to live under the control of fear. There is a difference between feeling fear and being led by fear. You may feel afraid, but you do not have to follow fear's direction. You may hear fearful thoughts, but you do not have to agree with them. You may stand in front of fear, but you do not have to bow down to it. Do not fear means do not allow fear to control your choices, shape your perspective, or decide the course of your life. Because when God speaks, He calls you higher than your emotions, and higher than your uncertainty. He calls you into trust, into peace, and into the quiet confidence that comes from knowing He is still in control, even when everything around you feels unstable. Then God says something powerful, "For I am with you." This is the reason behind the command not to fear. Everything changes here. God does not say, "I will remove every problem immediately." Instead, He says, "I am with you." And that changes everything. Because the greatest promise is not a life without trouble. The greatest promise is the presence of God in the middle of the trouble. That means when life feels confusing, He is there. When fear rises, He is there. When your future feels uncertain, He is there. Not far away watching from a distance, but near, involved, and present in every moment. Even when life feels heavy and unclear, even when your emotions do not feel strong, even when your prayers feel difficult and your thoughts are full of questions. God's presence does not depend on your feelings. It never has. Many people struggle with this because they assume that if they do not feel God strongly, then maybe God is far away. But feelings are not always reliable. Feelings can change from one moment to another. Sometimes they reflect your stress more than they reflect truth. But this verse reminds you of something deeper and stronger than feelings. God is with you whether you feel it or not. His presence is constant. It does not disappear because your emotions are low. It does not come and go depending on your mood. He remains faithful and close. That means you never walk through any season alone. Not during your hardest days, not during your most painful nights. Not during seasons where you feel confused, tired, or overwhelmed. God is still there, steady and unchanging. And when your heart begins to anchor itself in that truth, something starts shifting inside you. Fear slowly loses its grip. Strength begins to rise again, and you realize that while your situation may still be difficult, you are no longer carrying it by yourself. Then the verse says, "Do not be dismayed." Dismay is deeper than ordinary fear. It is that heavy feeling in your heart when your thoughts feel scattered and everything feels overwhelming at once. It is not always dramatic or obvious. Sometimes it is quiet exhaustion. Sometimes it is waking up without motivation. Sometimes it is carrying emotional weight you cannot fully explain. It is feeling pulled in too many directions while trying to stay strong. Dismay is discouragement. It is the kind of heaviness that makes you question your strength, your direction, and even your ability to keep moving forward. And God speaks into that place too. Do not be dismayed. Not because life is suddenly easy, and not because pressure is not real, but because you are not unsupported. Dismay often comes when you feel like everything depends on you alone, your future, your responsibilities, your decisions, your outcomes. It whispers that you must carry every burden by yourself and somehow keep everything together alone. But God interrupts that lie. He reminds you that you are not abandoned in your struggle. You are not left alone under the weight you are carrying. Do not be dismayed is an invitation to release what you were never meant to carry by yourself. It is an invitation to steady your heart, not by pretending life is perfect, but by remembering who is holding you through it all. Because even when your thoughts feel scattered, God is not confused. Even when your strength feels low, God remains strong. Even when your life feels uncertain, He remains steady. That means you do not have to collapse under pressure. You can continue standing, not because every problem is solved, but because God is supporting you every step of the way. Then God says something deeply personal. For I am your God. Notice the word your. This changes everything. God is not speaking in a distant or disconnected way. He is speaking personally. I am your God. That means you are not forgotten. You are not invisible. You are not just another face in the crowd. He knows you personally. He sees your struggles, your fears, your silent battles, and the thoughts you never say out loud. He sees the pressure you carry. He understands the moments where you appear strong on the outside, but feel uncertain within. None of those things are hidden from him, and more than simply seeing them, he cares deeply about them. He is not distant from your life. He is involved in it. He walks with you closely and faithfully. This is not a general promise spoken to no one in particular. It is personal. You are someone who belongs to God. And when you truly understand that, it changes the way you see yourself and your situation. Because if God is your God, then His strength is available to you. His wisdom is available to you. His peace, His guidance, and His presence are all available to you. You are not walking through life alone, trying to survive on your own strength. You are walking through life with God beside you every single day. Then comes another powerful promise. I will strengthen you. There are moments in life when you feel weak inside, not only physically but emotionally and mentally. Times when your energy feels low, your motivation disappears, and your mind feels tired from carrying too much for too long. Even small tasks begin to feel heavy. Smiling feels difficult. Continuing forward feels exhausting, and many people around you may not even notice it. But God sees it clearly, and in those moments, He does not tell you to simply try harder or pretend everything is fine. Instead, He says, I will strengthen you. That means the strength you need is not something you must create on your own. It is something God gives you. Real strength is not about pretending to be strong while secretly falling apart. Real strength comes from allowing God to meet you in your weakness. God is not limited by what you lack. In fact, He often works most powerfully exactly where your own strength runs out. When your mind feels exhausted, He brings clarity. When your heart feels drained, He renews you. When you feel like you cannot continue, He becomes the strength you no longer have. And this changes everything, because now your ability to keep moving forward no longer depends only on how strong you feel emotionally. It depends on who God is. You do not have to wait until you feel completely ready. You do not have to depend only on your own ability. You can continue walking forward because God is strengthening you every moment, quietly, faithfully, and consistently. Even in your weakest moments, you are not abandoned without strength. You are simply standing in the place where God's strength begins carrying you. Then God says, I will help you. This is active and personal. God is not distant from your struggles. He is involved. His help is real. It appears in practical ways during real moments in your life. Sometimes quietly, sometimes unexpectedly, but always intentionally. God steps into the things that concern you. He helps through wisdom, through guidance, through peace, through direction, and through unexpected provision. Sometimes His help comes as clarity you did not have before. Sometimes it comes as peace that calms your heart, even while the situation around you remains unchanged. Sometimes His help appears through people, opportunities, opened doors, or answers you never expected. And sometimes his help simply means sustaining you through difficult days, giving you enough grace to continue one more day, holding your mind together when your emotions feel scattered. Even when you cannot immediately recognize it, God is still working. He is guiding, arranging, protecting, strengthening, and helping you in ways both visible and invisible. You are not abandoned in your process. You are not carrying life alone. God is helping you even now. And when you begin to truly believe that, something changes inside you. You begin walking with less fear and less pressure because you realize you are not handling everything by yourself. There is a faithful God actively helping you through every season you face. Then the verse says something incredibly powerful. I will uphold you. This means that even when you feel like you are falling apart, you will not completely collapse. Even when life feels unstable and uncertain, God is holding you up. He is not only beside you, He is beneath you, supporting you, carrying you, and keeping you from breaking under the pressure. Sometimes life becomes so heavy that you wonder how you are still standing. The stress is real. The emotions are intense. The uncertainty is exhausting, yet somehow you are still moving forward. That is not only your strength, that is God upholding you. He is sustaining you in ways you may not fully notice. He is keeping your heart steady. He is protecting your mind. He is giving you enough strength for the next step, even when you feel weak and tired. And many times, that is exactly what you need most. Not immediate answers, not instant change, but stability. The kind of stability that keeps you grounded while everything around you feels uncertain. The kind that allows you to endure difficult seasons without completely falling apart. God understands that before situations around you change, you first need strength within you. And when He says, I will uphold you, He is promising that no matter how intense life becomes, you will never be abandoned to face it alone. You may feel stretched. You may feel pressure. You may bend under the weight of difficult moments, but you will not break, because the faithful strength of God is holding you steady. Friend, this verse is not only something to repeat during fearful moments, it is a foundation you can stand on when life feels unstable. Even when your emotions feel loud, even when your situation has not changed yet, even when answers feel delayed and the weight still feels heavy. Because truth does not change just because your feelings change. Fear may speak loudly, but God has already spoken. And His voice carries more authority than every fearful thought that tries to enter your mind. So the next time fear appears, pause for a moment. Do not allow fear to lead your decisions. Return to this truth slowly and personally. Read these words again and let them sink deeper into your heart. Remind yourself that you are not alone. You are not abandoned. You are not without strength, help, peace, or support. God is with you, and His promises are still true over your life today. And now I want to ask you something personal. Which part of this verse spoke to your heart the most today? Take a moment and share it in the comments below. And if this message encouraged you, do not forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share this message with someone who may need this reminder today. Let us pray together. Father, thank you for your constant presence in every part of our lives. Thank you that you are never far away, never silent, and never unaware of what we are facing. You are close in every season, every emotion, and every situation. Even in the quiet moments, you remain near. Even in the painful moments, you remain faithful. When fear rises in our hearts, remind us that you are with us. When our minds feel overwhelmed, help us remember your steady presence. Strengthen us when we feel weak deep inside. Renew our hearts when we feel tired. Restore what feels drained within us. Lift every burden we have been carrying for too long. Guide us when we feel uncertain and confused about the future. When we do not know what to do, lead us with your wisdom and your peace that goes beyond understanding. Hold us steady when life feels unstable and keep our hearts grounded in your truth. Teach us to trust your promises more than our emotions. Help us stand firmly on your word even when our feelings are shifting. Train our hearts to rest in your truth instead of living in constant worry. And when doubt tries to speak loudly, let your voice speak even louder within us. Build deeper confidence inside us, not confidence in ourselves alone, but confidence in you, because you never fail and never change. Help us walk forward every day knowing that you are always near, not occasionally present, but constantly faithful in every moment of our lives. Thank you for being our strength, our peace, our helper, and our support. Thank you for carrying us, guiding us, protecting us, and sustaining us through every season. Keep us anchored in your love, and help us live every day with the quiet assurance that we are never alone.